So welcome back, guys, to We Talk Boxing. And today I'm going to be talking about the fight that took place on the weekend between Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller, and what a fight it was from the pair. Now, just before getting to my thoughts, my reactions in regards to the fight, I just got to say it was good to see both two things really. It was good to see Jarrell Miller back to being in somewhat decent shape and motivated and very poised to put on the performance for the fans really. So it's quite good to see that from a fan's perspective from Jarrell Miller. But it was also good to see Andy Ruiz back in the ring, and it's been a while. Was it 2 years in total since he last fought? I just hope now that he could maybe go on to be a bit more, like fight a little bit more regularly, because if not, he's gonna get unstuck, if you know what I mean. But yeah, the fight itself, both of these guys left it all in the ring. They went toe to toe with each other, and yeah, they put on a good performance. And I'd like to see the rematch. Um, from an Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz still looks like he's got very, very fast hands, and he's got good combinations as well, good punch combinations. And again, we've seen as well, he clipped and hurt Miller a few times, but not nothing significant, but he hurt him a couple of times throughout the fight, which was, you know what I mean, which was good to see. And I think one judge in the end had him winning the fight. You know what I mean? I think it was 116, 114 or something like that. Had him winning it. So, yeah, it was a good performance from him. As I said, he's been out for nearly 2 years or whatever it is. And for him to come back and put on a display like that against a Jarrell Miller that's had a few fights, I think he's done very, very well there. We just got to wait to see what he does next. He put a picture, I think it was on social media afterwards, about his hand, how like what his hand looked like after the fight. Doesn't really look good. Looks like he possibly could have a fracture there. So yeah, let's hope that it isn't a fracture and that it's maybe just some swelling. So that way, at least he's, you know what I mean, it's not going to stop him from fighting, because it would be good to see him have another fight maybe towards the back end of this year. So at least that way he's had two fights in 2024, and then maybe plod on and keep going forward for 2025. But Jarrell Miller, yeah, brilliant performance, as I said. It brings it, doesn't it, to every fight. He gets stuck in there, stands toe to toe with people, and he's quite confident in taking shots from people. You know what I mean? He's not one of these fighters that will stand back and fear their power. He's like, okay, cool, show them what you got, and I'll show you what I've got, sort of thing. But yeah, he hurt Ruiz as well. Both of them hurt each other, I should say. But yeah, he hurt Ruiz on a few occasions, catching him with some good shots, hooks and uppercuts. Yeah, and he looks really good when he loses weight and he trains for a fight. He looks good. He looks decent. I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion or he's going to beat the top boys, but he looks good, and he's exciting for the heavyweight division. I know he's had a lot of things go on in terms of the drug test and cheating, etc., etc., but he's good for the heavyweight division. He's probably the one and only, apart from Derek Chisora, that can get fans a little bit excited because of the way he talks. He's brash, he's open, he'll pull it on you, he doesn't care. And we don't really see that a lot from any of the boxers, really. Like, when I compare him versus Martin Bakole, I think that would be a brilliant, brilliant fight, because both of them would just kind of come forward, and I'd love to see what Bakole could do against someone like a Miller. Can he hurt Miller? I think he can, but can he do it? We don't know. But when you're comparing their characters, Bakole is boring. He doesn't really do anything for me. He doesn't get me excited for the fight. But Miller, on the other hand, you know what I mean, he probably might not be a world champion, because I think that maybe one day if Bakole keeps doing what he's doing, could maybe win a version of the world title at some point. But he doesn't do anything for me. His performances say more than what his talk does. Which sometimes that could be a good thing, but yeah, I think Miller's good for the heavyweight division, and hopefully we can see him in some more interested and good fights. I'd love to see the rematch between the pair, but maybe not straight away. I'd love them maybe to go off and have a few different fights, and then once let's say they're on some good form, to come back and challenge each other again, because it'd be bigger, especially once they're both match fit, they're both fighting regularly, training regularly. I think it'd be a much better fight as well than what the first one was, even though the first one was a good toe-to-toe fight. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Was this fight what you thought? And did you have the decision going how it went? It was a draw in the end, split a majority decision draw. So yeah, did you have that in mind? As I said, I couldn't really pick a winner. At the time, I kind of felt I was probably edging more towards Miller only because he was a bit more active, but I thought it was going to be a very, very close fight because I didn't know what Andy Ruiz was going to show up. But yeah, now we know. But anyway, guys, as always, just my thoughts on the fight. Let me know yours. Please subscribe. Bless.